I was just like all of you. I walked through those hallways. I performed in a number of concerts in the auditorium, and I played sports on the athletic fields just outside. We share this because I'm a graduate of the Independence School class of 2008. And just like some of you, I would go home every afternoon and ask my mom a couple simple questions. Why do I have to study if all my friends are outside having fun? Why do I have to take algebra? It was never my strong point. Why can't Mayfair be every month rather than just the end of May? I'm here to tell you that it all matters. Every experience you take along the way matters and will bring you to exactly where you're meant to be. See, I just reached one of my lifetime goals. I moved to New York City this past December to live there for 2 months to work for Esquire magazine. Esquire is a world-renowned men's lifestyle magazine. I work specifically in the fashion department and had amazing opportunities, but one thing happened. I would have never had this experience unless I took a risk. So first I had to take that risk. A risk meaning a fear that I wouldn't like it. I worked 4 years to get to this point. A fear that they wouldn't like me. Everyone has that thought once in their life. A fear that the city wasn't for me after all these years of imagining me walking down the street and hearing the cabs honking. A fear of not succeeding, which I see as the most important. Have you ever had a fear of not succeeding? Maybe it's a fear of failing a test or not making the soccer team that you tried out for. I break that fear of not succeeding, a fear of risk, down to 2 things. A fear of not succeeding or a fear of regret from not trying. The famous motivational speaker Jim Rohn once said, "We must all suffer from one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons." So we can break this down to taking risks. The fear of success weighs ounces while the fear of regret weighs tons. I decided to take that risk. Every day, 5 days a week, I walked into that big shiny building on the corner of 57th and 8th Avenue. I had unbelievable opportunities and met some of the greatest editors in the business. My daily task consisted of keeping the closet organized and making sure we had all the right products and clothes and watches and bracelets and everything you can imagine, from Louis Vuitton suits to the latest and greatest Nike sneakers and athletic gear. We even had a baseball bat in there at some point, and you'll see on the slide later. So while I was in Esquire's fashion closet, I got to realize that with that risk came so many rewards. I had the best experience of my life, and I can't wait to get back there. And the risk didn't just end once I made it to New York City. I decided to reach out to one of my favorite beauty editors of Allure magazine and see if she would just offer me a couple pieces of advice. It's always nice to have someone to admire to and look up to. And to my surprise, she emailed me back, and we actually had coffee together. If I never took that risk and emailed her, I would have never been able to meet one of my role models. So like I said, with risk comes great reward. Leaving Manhattan, it dawned on me that I proved to myself what I was truly capable of. I was capable of succeeding in a high-pressure and fast-paced environment like the fashion and magazine industry. There's the baseball bat I mentioned earlier. So my days consisted of so many different things, but it was very exciting because I could have been 1 second I was checking in all the clothing that came in and out of the closet, and the next the fashion editor needed me to run downtown in a cab and bring watches because Trevor Noah, the new host of The Daily Show, needed a watch for this photo. So now that I'm standing in front of you and talking, I realize I now have the answers to these questions I mentioned prior. Why do I have to study, Mom, while my friends are outside playing? Why do I have to take algebra when I'm just not good at it? Why can't Mayfair be every month rather than the first Sunday in May? I can clearly see the answer to these questions all bring me back to the place where it started. The Independence School was a powerful note in the orchestra of my dreams and my goals. So what I want you to know is right here is exactly where you're meant to be. Every stepping stone you take along the way will lead you to exactly where you're meant to be. Who knows, maybe it's New York City, who knows, maybe it's the hospital, the Christiana Hospital, but you'll end up exactly where you're meant to be. If I could leave you with one piece of information is stepping out of your comfort zone can lead you to the greatest experiences of your lifetime. Without taking that risk, I would have never experienced half the things I experienced in New York City. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity every day. Don't be limited in what you think you can achieve, because if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Thank you.